Yo, what's up? What's happening? Much love to everybody. Episode 7. This episode is brought to you by High Powered Customs for all your screen print shirt needs, golf shirts, whatever you need. High Powered Customs got you covered.
The Me, Myself, and God one, that's my favorite
That's fire.
one.
That's fire. They'll get your brand on anything. Shout out to High Powered Customs. Check them out on Instagram. But
I'm a businessman.
I'm a businessman. We here, episode 7, season 2. Yeah. Today we got a very, very special guest. Our first guest on the show, actually. A very close friend of ours. A guy that we really admire and respect. Trevor Silver of North Preston. Shout out Trevor. A businessman himself. He owns one of the more popular brands in the HRM region. Called tREV Clothing. Trust, respect, educate, value. We're very happy to have Trev on today and excited to jump into the conversation.
I want the people to know who I am, man.
Let them know who you are, man.
I'm Corval Beals.
Yeah.
People call me Valley. CB Valley on every platform. I think it's real important. I've been branding myself.
Yes.
So, 100%. Hit me up.
Hit him up. Hit me up at Vel Smooth. But we're going to get right into it with Trev.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, man. I'm excited today, I like talking to you, man, but, having somebody else here, you know what I mean? Give us a little bit of different energy, right? You know?
I think, we talk to each other a lot.
Yeah.
And our ideas, was like today we were talking and he told me something like, I just thought about that yesterday.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of those moments. So
synchronized swimmers. Yeah, I probably talk to you. You're probably like the number one. Like if I had a talker, who do I talk to most lists?
That'd be cool to see. Our
talking hours.
Our hours. Like, someone make that app. I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can look at your contacts and see how many hours you talk to contacts.
That's a slippery app, though. Like, you know what I mean? People start tapping back, and they
it was like the Snapchat best friends.
Yeah, that one.
When Snapchat got rid of that one, a lot of people were happy.
Yeah, you gotta keep it moving. You can't. You gotta mix it up. Can't talk to the same
I know
people
that used to, like if someone was on their best friends that they might not supposed to, they just send a bunch of messages to some of their other friends.
Yeah,
to kind of
balance it out. Keep it balanced. Keep it balanced. But it's just exciting to have somebody else in here, and especially Trev. Yeah, Trev, like you said, a great friend of ours, and a real serious hustler, great entrepreneur. You know what I mean? I don't know if he got the serial yet, but I think the way that he operates his business, he moved like a serial entrepreneur inside of tREV Clothing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Definitely a guy that he puts the work in, and it's been, real exciting to watch his journey and watch what he's built to date. And we're excited to chat about that and dig into what he's got going on.
tREV Clothing, man. tREV Clothing. Yeah.
So we here. My man Trev came through. He leaving me hanging.
What's up, bro?
We here. What's happening, man?
I had to come and bring you guys something, right?
Oh, you got something for us?
Oh, my man, he's starting off early. First guest, and this is what do you call it? He's setting
Merry Christmas.
He's setting
the tone, man. So the rest of you guests, when you come up here, man, you better have something.
We love gifts.
You better have something. We're gonna open it up real quick.
Oh, my boy got the wrapper and all that.
Where you get this packaging at, man? Damn. I always count on tREV Clothing for the quality.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got.
You ain't got that. You ain't got that.
Ooh, a wallet.
The wallet with the card holder.
Yeah, see, Trev,
I gotta get rid of this.
He stay branded, man.
Yeah, this is how it looks when it's
the brand of genius.
Got that tREV in there.
Okay.
The card you use the most.
So I gotta get the black card in there, right?
Nice. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it for sure, man.
Appreciate
nothing but love, man.
It wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for y'all.
Shit, man. I appreciate it, but I can't take that credit.
Vice versa.
I can't take that credit, man.
Iron sharpen iron. I believe that for sure.
100%.
Iron sharpen iron.
No, that's facts. And I mean, we're gonna get right into it. We got some questions here for you. But really, we just wanted to bring you on and chat. Kind of talk about what you've been building and how you got to the place you're at. But for background, Trevor's from where we're from, North Preston. Family, a brother. We've built a relationship. We've known each other our whole lives for sure, but over the last, I say, 4 to 5 years as we've been in business, I think we've been, we getting closer and really sharing ideas and growing together. So
I think
grateful to have you.
Coming a part of the inner circle, I think it's important as you go on this journey in life, like to find people that are like-minded. I hear people that talk about, show me your 6 closest people.
That's right.
I'll kind of tell you who you are. So I think, you know, it's not a stretch to say, like, you know, we don't talk to each other every day, but, you know, I know that love is always there. And to know that you're a part of my elite circle, it helps me kind of stay going. When I see you with the new shit, it's like, yeah, I got to
stop.
I got to keep going. I can't quit because, you know, I got people around me that, you know, when I tap in, I got to be able to bring something new to the table. So I think you always do that for me.
Thank you, brother.
So
I appreciate
that for sure.
Appreciate both of y'all.
Whenever we have a convo with Trevor, it's always epiphanies. It's always a real light and a real kind of energy.
Aha moments.
Right?
Yeah, aha moments.
You know, he'll pull up on us one day and we just rap for 2-3 hours about whatever, mostly around business. But yeah, a great guy to call a brother for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. Make me feel good about everything, you know.
100%.
I feel the same way, you know.
Yeah, straight.
And I always give you guys your flowers.
You do.
Behind closed
He
doors,
does.
Whenever I message you guys, I let you know how I'm feeling, just because I feel like people got to know that. You know what I mean? Like, people always want to, when it's too late or when they don't have the chance. You know, I got to let you know when I'm feeling it. You know,
Facts.
I'm always feeling it, but I got to let you know. So you know.
Straight.
Yeah, I mean, you do a good job of that for sure. I would agree.
Yeah, I say, you know, I always get that from you. It'll be that random shit. You know what I mean? I think that's the most genuine love, is when it's random. It ain't every day where we, you know, it's like, oh man, he texted me again. Like, if I see you pop up on the phone, text, phone call, whatever, I know I gotta answer first, but then I know it's something good. You know what I'm saying? Like, 100%. I think that, you know, and your perspectives is always, it's like I said, it's them aha moments, you know what I mean? Like, damn, like, yeah, right? So
you do the same for me, though, with the ahas. And
straight.
Changing my perspective and giving me new perspectives, things that I wouldn't even have thought about. But I feel like that's what, as your character, I feel like that's what you do. Like, you do, like, your intention may be to do that. Even if you might not agree, you always give me the different side of things, and it makes me think.
Yeah, a little bit of intention, a little bit just natural. But, you know, like I said, like, that's just right there. Like, it's just an easy connect. You know what I mean? It's good to have people like Trevor in your corner.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We all in the same race. How I look at it is like we on the same team.
Yeah.
Even we're from the same community, but even if we weren't, we're from the same city, whatever. And when you guys are racing, then we're all in the life race. Yeah. Enjoying it, you know. But when I'm looking over at you guys doing big things, it inspires me to continue to do big things. And I'm like, I got to do good so that I can push you guys, and you guys do good so you can push me. So we're all pushing each other. It's not like and I'm not looking at it as like a competitive thing. It's more of like a cooperative thing. Like, we're brothers helping each other.
Straight.
And that's a good way to put it. And I think that's the importance of, you know, having a power circle and having like-minded people and people on the same mission, in the same race, because we know this marathon ain't easy, and it gets tough, it gets challenging. You need a brother to look towards and be like, all right, he's still in the race, I'm gonna keep going, or that conversation when you might have been ready to quit, that okay, you just sprinkled that game on me and just kept me going. And you know, you made a good point around, it's not competition, but we're pushing each other. It's like, you know, I think of it like you got gym buddies, right? People you go to the gym with. Yeah. We in here getting big together, right? It's not like a zero-sum game where you're gonna win, I'm gonna lose. We winning together. We're both. It's a goal. There's a lot of money out there, right? And we can all go get it, and we just attacking it together, right? But
no, that's facts.
100%. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep it real casual, bro. I got some questions just to really, you know, let the people hear about you, and ultimately what we're trying to do with guests is share ideas, chat, shit that we usually do. But you know, maybe there's someone out there that has an idea, and your story is inspiring, and it might inspire them, right? So you know, ultimately, that's what we're going for here. So you know, my first question, you know, obviously you're from North Preston. Just tell us a bit about, you know, growing up, your childhood. What was it like? Anything you can give us around that?
So for me, like, I grew up all around HRM. The majority of my life was in North Preston.
We talked about that. Yeah. From a lot of places.
Yeah. So like for me, it's like the upbringing was rough, and I kind of don't really touch on that to people because I don't really like to bring that in, because like I look back on my past, we had some rough patches, but when I look at it, it's like if I didn't go through that stuff, I wouldn't be who I am today. So like when it comes to like just just certain things that you go through as a youth, you think like, oh, no one else is going through it, and when you get older, you realize like, man, a lot of people are going through this. They might not be from my city or they might not be from my area, but we all similarly going through our own struggles, rich or poor, whatever, you know what I mean? So for me, it's like, like coming up was
Squid Game effect.
Squid Game effect, and survival of the fittest. Because I was just telling the kids at Auburn a couple of days ago that like, when I was younger, I used to want to have a normal life. Like, I used to look over at the kids in my class and be like, oh, I wish my parents worked jobs. I wish I could come to class with, like, the show and tell and be like, oh, you know what I mean? I got a normal life. But then fast forward to now, like, if I didn't have an abnormal life and I didn't go through what I went through and, like, the struggles or whatever my parents were doing, I wouldn't be able to be who I am today. I'm looking at those kids like I want to be like you guys, but now in retrospect, it's like, man, I'm glad I went through that. Right. I'm glad I had those experiences, because if it wasn't for that, then I don't think I would be me. Like, the struggle is it makes you tougher. It makes you be able to like be resilient. Like, when it comes to business, it's like you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. So get rejected. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you change it?
Oh, no, 100%. There's some things that I would have did differently, but I wouldn't want to be like, I used to dream about like, man, I wish my parents were like normal working people and I did this and that, but looking back now, it's like, nah, I'm glad that I didn't have to, like, I get
it. It give you your character.
Yeah, 100%.
It give you your character.
Like, because you got to learn through forgiveness, through certain things that they might have done, people around you might have done, and I feel like I've grown so much through forgiveness. I feel like forgiveness is like one of the things that freed me the most of having that pain. Because as I became an adult, like, you have those conversations with your mom or your dad or like the people that was in your life, and it frees you. Like, you know what I mean? Their intentions might not have been whatever happened, but then it happened. So having those conversations as an adult make you like become better.
You know what's crazy? Like, it's funny how like you do Trev.
Trev gonna Trev.
Yeah, Trev gonna always Trev, because real shit, like you probably one of the first people that introduced me to the concept of forgiveness. Like as a man, you know what I mean? Like we hear the words, but like when I seen, the way that you are able to, transcend in that spirit of forgiveness and really live it. Like a lot of people say we talk that shit, but like you actually truly live it. And I started really paying attention, and me and you had a conversation one time, and it really enlightened me to be like, yo, like shit, like I gotta let that shit go, because it ain't doing nothing to these people. It's me, right? And I remember that. I'm like, yo, frick. So now when you brought that up, it's like, yeah, like that's you. You know what I mean? But it's like you're not afraid to be you, and that's what's up.
100%, because that perspective, and I'm pretty sure I remember those conversations, is because the environment, it has expectations from us, or that things that we think that we're supposed to do. Like when someone passes away, we're supposed to cry, we're supposed to be sad, we're supposed to, like, if someone kills one of our friends, we're supposed to be angry, we're supposed to want to, you know what I mean? And in order for us to change that, I'm not saying like forgive someone right away, but I'm saying in order for us to be the change, we got to do the, you know what I mean? Make the changes, and we can't have a different experience if we're not doing different stuff. Like everything that we're doing when it comes to business, entrepreneurship, we're making a change for the community, for the city, for everyone. So everyone else seeing that can come up and live off of our experience, you know what I mean? And for us to be able to, like, for me to share that story with you and it have an impact on you, that was, not saying that's my intention. My intention is to free myself, but if it can help you too, then that's a double whammy.
Corell put something on his snap yesterday. To get to where we want to go, we can't do what we did to get here. I'm paraphrasing, but that's 100%. Basically, to go to the places we trying to go to unforeseen territories. So we gotta do some different shit, right? It's not, or what we did to get here is not gonna be
what got us here. Ain't gonna take us there.
Straight. So we gotta change shit. So boom, we look at things of forgiveness. It's like, okay, the cycle of not forgiving, and the cycle of, if we're speaking specifically, you do something to me, I do something back to you. We see that cycle continue itself and perpetrate itself in the black community, and a lot of his expectation. Oh fuck, he did that. Well, I gotta do it. I'm scared to not.
Do that, then you scared.
You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of people are scared to forgive. They're scared to be different. They're scared to go against what the people are expecting them to do, because, I got to do what they think I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? If I don't, then I'm a bitch, or I'm like I'm this, and it's, to me, it's like you're a bitch if you can't be real to yourself. You
Straight. know? Number one.
That's big.
Huge. Just kind of keep going through. I want to hear a bit more about where the entrepreneurship kind of came from. Do you have like any entrepreneurs in your family?
Oh, for sure. You know, Granddaddy Simo.
Yeah.
And then my grandfather on my white side, he was in this construction. He had a contracting company. So like, ever since I was young and I learned the word like entrepreneur, I always attributed it to me and who I wanted to be. And like, maybe I'm not the best entrepreneur, but me having that inspiration and like seeing both of my grandfathers doing business, it was like, oh yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. And like, yeah, it's like be an entrepreneur or die trying, right?
Makes sense. How were you as a student, like in school coming up and in class and grades, and what was your life like that?
So for me in school, like I find I was like disruptive kid, like attention deficit or whatever they label you. But I find that like I could do the work. Like I was like a little bit, like I knew what was going on. So it was like, if I didn't want to do it, I did it. If I didn't want to do it, I can remember in high school, it's like I get the work done, then I'll act up. Then other kids would be like, they'll be like, oh, why is Trevor not, you ain't getting Trevor in trouble. I'm like, Trevor, did he work? Trevor can do what he wants to do, you know what I mean? And then like I'll disrupt the other kids. I already got my work done, you know what I mean? I wasn't the smartest kid, but I knew that in order for you to goof off, like you got to get the work done first.
Yeah. You got to at least do your work.
Yeah,
I may not get 100%, but I got to at least finish.
Yeah,
I mean?
for sure.
When the teacher brought back to me, she's like, well, I did my work. You know what I mean?
So you can't really get in trouble.
I have a lot of those moments too, for sure.
And I find like the thing about when it comes to school, because like I used to always have this feeling of like I wasn't smart. Like I didn't know what was going on. But then I realized, like I think a switch went off that was like, you are what you believe you are. And then when I started believing that, I started to become more smarter, and I started educating myself and learning. When it comes to like a question I always ask is like, everyone say they know good at math, but like, who practices math? Like only people that don't practice math aren't good at math. Whatever you practice, you can be good at. Like I suck at basketball, but how many thousands of hours did you put into basketball? I didn't put that much in. But when it comes to saying like, oh, I suck at math, like that's just like I'm defeated. But really, you didn't put in the work. You didn't study. You know what I mean?
Unless you have like a disability, like a math dyslexia or something. But even then, you can work through. Even there are people that are gifted, like they might have a gifted brain for math, but it's hours. It's hours you put in, 10,000 hours they say, and when you become an expert at something. Right?
And when you're good at something, you're interested in it. You're more inclined to do it.
Your brain's paying attention to it.
Everyone I knew played basketball. I sucked at basketball. That's probably one of the reasons why I didn't play. But like that's one of the reasons why I didn't play. But it's also I wasn't interested in it. And just because everybody does it doesn't mean that I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? I appreciate ball and I appreciate what it teaches you. But like and the competitiveness and the exercise of it. But besides that, it's like just basketball to me.
No, makes sense. Around university, you went to school to be a lawyer. When did you want to be a lawyer? Like, was that always? When did that come to life?
So just being younger. So like going back to my childhood with the parents and stuff like that, people in my family would get in trouble, like committing crimes and doing whatnot. So I always felt like if I became a lawyer, I'd be able to be financially free. Well, no. A would be
you're always going to have customers.
but I'll be able to like help my community, be like someone that I didn't have to look up to. You know what I mean? Like how many black male lawyers did we have up home to look up to? You know what I mean?
Seen one of them.
Shoot, I don't even think.
That's what I mean.
When you're saying black lawyers, first one I was thinking Rocky Jones, R.I.P. to the legend.
R.I.P. Rocky.
Right?
And I didn't know who Rocky Jones was until I got to law school,
Rocky Jones was a boxer.
I ain't know until I got in trouble.
Okay, makes sense.
First time I ever even, like I always heard the name, but like first time I actually like, seen him and had a reason to call him or talk to him.
100%.
I was in trouble.
And it's hard for us to see ourselves being these things if we don't have someone to like model, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff that we do is like learn behavior. So like if we had a lawyer in our family or a teacher in our family, we're more inclined to be that because that's what we could see.
I can't be it if I can't see it. We say it every other episode.
100%. And then for us, it's like, well, for me in general, when it comes to clothing brand or whatever, I have to not look for my community to model. I had to look outside my community, and it's not a bad thing because I'm looking up to Alex McLean. I'm looking up to Jay-Z with Rockaware. Like I remember in grade 5, like I got my first pair of Rockaware jeans, and like I was going off with them. Like I was happy. Like you know what I mean? So it's like thinking back to that is like you got to be able to, even if they don't look like you got to be able to still model them. You got to still be able to take their good skills, and that's one thing that I learned from reading autobiographies. That's one thing that I really like to read because it humanizes the character, the person, like Barack Obama, Gandhi. Like you're reading their experiences and what they went through, the feelings that they felt. Even if their memories are wrong or they're reporting them wrong, it's still you get to experience what they went through or what they thought they went through, so that you can get through whatever you're going through and realize like we all people and we all can be what we want to be.
I was always kind of not against, but I didn't really like autobiographies. I felt like it was a waste of time. And then recently I read Nelson Mandela's, I'm reading Nelson Mandela's autobiography, and I realized that like there's a lot of learning I can get from reading someone's story. And it goes from all the way he was a child to his end of his life. And you get to really experience what they experienced. And these are incredible people that did incredible shit. So through their stories and through their journey, there's a lot we can pull, right? And he's giving a lot of lessons.
Parallels.
Exactly.
You're going to be able to see something in them that you can see in yourself, or see something in them that you want to model. You know what I mean? And it's really just, it's ingredients.
And like the learned behavior thing, because you're going to be able to be like, how did they get through this? Oh, this is how I can get through this. You know what I mean? When it comes to like just random stuff, like I'm half black, half white. When you're young, you go through the struggle of like, who am I? Like the black people saying I'm white, the white people saying I'm black. You know what I mean? So like those,
I'm stuck in the middle.
And then you got to realize like as you build yourself up and you look back, like for me, it's like that shit don't matter. Don't nobody care if I'm black or white. They might tease me or I might tease them, but like at the end of the day is that don't really mean that there's no real meaning behind am I black or white, or that identity crisis is I have to just build the confidence within myself so that someone say something to me, it don't even affect me.
Would you say, I guess this is a personal question for me to even want to know, like, would you say that you've always had this confidence? Would you say that you always have this, I guess, this is something about you, like, but I gotta call it confidence, but I don't even think that's the right word.
Confidence, aura, it's energy.
Like, would you say that you always had this?
No, you walk in your own feet.
I wouldn't say that 100% because it's a thing that I feel like I get from introspection. Like I get from journaling. I get from like building myself up, like reading the autobiographies, doing all the work, the internal work, so that when I am on the outside, it's like everything may be looking cool.
You put a lot of hours into yourself.
100%.
The same way math, right? 100%. You need to put time, and you put time into your self-development.
You refine yourself. Like, you ever see that meme where the guy's like chiseling himself?
Cutting his body out.
I feel like that's how I'm able to be confident. I'm able to have like real conversation with people. That allows me to go in the world and become more real, become more refined. You know what I mean? Steel sharpens steel.
Straight.
If I come to you with a question, or I come to like my brother or my sister or anyone with a question, is like I might need a question that can help me. You know what I mean? Determine like my blind spots or certain things that I know that are going to refine me and help me be better. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't mind doing that for other people too.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Solid. So you go to law school. Well, first you go to university, and then you go to law school. But you drop out of law school. Tell us a bit about that. What went on with that?
That was a story in itself, and I'm kind of still like being able to like articulate what happened because I got.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, bro. If you don't, you know what I mean. So my dad thinks it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So
I still ain't finished school, man. My mom still want me.
Me either, bro. I still don't got a degree, bro. You know how I got into law school? I had 50% of 2 degrees, so it looked like I had a degree. I had 50% history.
Tell that story actually, because I heard that. How did you? So you got in law school illegally, essentially.
But through the IB&M program. Shout outs to them, because if I didn't get there, or if I wouldn't have got to law school without that program. But so I did half of history, switched to business when I randomly took a business class, and I realized like when you're young, you're like, oh, no one has to go to school for business to run a business, but you should. Yeah, it's really recommended, you know. So
we talked about that too.
Yeah. So I switched to business, did 2 years of that, and then like I think it was like my 4th year, I applied for law school, didn't get in. My 5th year, applied for law school. I don't know. I might have got in the 2nd year or the 3rd time I tried, but I just kept trying because I literally only went to school so I could become a lawyer. I didn't care about like all the other stuff, but in retrospect, school was important. I wouldn't be who I am without the going through the history and stuff like that. But got to law school, realized it wasn't for me. Like, so the first year I was just like, man, like I don't like this, you know. But I thought that was like a challenge of like it might be too hard why I don't like
through.
it, or it's do I not like it because I don't really like it.
It's tough in that spot and finding, is this just hard for me? Especially when you're like an achiever. Is this hard for me, or is this not for me?
Yeah, is it not for me?
And really find that too.
So that was one of the things that I realized. So I went to school, realized it wasn't for me, got through the first year, worked at a firm that summer, and I was in the courtrooms. I had a suit on and all that stuff, and then I was like, man, this really ain't for me. I was like, that's when I kind of knew, but then I still went into the next year going in, and that September, my grandfather passed away, and I was like, okay, it was like my chance to take some time off. So I used the medical leave to take time off and decide if I want to go back, I probably could have. If not, you know what I mean? So started the brand in that process of that time, and then I kind of never really looked back. I kind of look at it like a sign. Like,
before we go back into the brand, because I want to go into the brand. It's fun. It's crazy because, man, black people, like especially all the guys I know that went to university and shit, like a lot of them, it seemed like that's a common thing. Somebody pass away, we take some time off and we never go back. You know what I mean? Like, I seen that happen a lot of times. Like, you know, it's like
still happening this year.
Yeah, like, you know, people like, it's like, oh, someone passed in my family, because you know, in the black community, like, people pass, like, we connected, so like every death matters to us.
100%.
And so we'll take that time off and then we never go back. And it's weird. It's crazy because when you said that, I just started thinking like a bunch of names just started popping through my head.
So for me, it was like, and the only reason why I did end up going back to finish off my undergrad is because I had student loans and I didn't want them to go in repayment, and that's why I'm still in school now. Don't come for me, but
I'm still taking.
As long as you're in school, they won't send that direct deposit.
So you say you started the brand while you were in law school.
So after the first year of law school, I came up with the first design, like the balanced success design, like the heart and the money sign is like work, money, career, family, love, friendship. You have to balance to succeed. So I came up with that in my first year of law school. So if I didn't go to law school, I wouldn't have had the first design. I wouldn't even have a brand today. So it's like you have to pursue what you think is your purpose to find what is your purpose. Yeah. And that's kind of what I did with that. And yeah, so it ended up kind of working out for me. But when it came to me deciding not to, so that summer of the first year is when I kind of started the idea for the brand. Started refining it, started reading like Simon Sinek, that book, Start With Why. Yeah, so that was like
top 10 books of all time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And it just kind of made me be like, after I ended up like finishing with the law school, I realized how I disconnected myself from the community to go to school. You know what I mean? Like, because in order to succeed, like, I can't say in order to succeed, but for me to succeed, I had to remove myself from the community and my friends, and like, we'll party here and there and do stuff here and there, but I had to kind of just be straight in the books. Like, I wasn't the smartest kid in school, but I knew how to do my work, and
the environment ain't promoting higher learning and education. Like, you gotta pick your spots when you know the majority of you people, they kind of just chilling out, hanging out, relaxing, and you know, you got exams and all that shit. Like, you gotta pick your spots,
and you don't really miss out on much because you're still able to party and do all the stuff that they
doing the same shit that they was doing 10 years ago.
Yeah, so you're able to do all that stuff and go to school. So like, check you guys on the weekend, or like I'll come
on the week. I'm not drinking. I'm not coming to your drink on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
sacrifice.
I'll see you Saturday.
The little sacrifice, but then at the end of the day, sometimes the sacrifices aren't really sacrifices because I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like it's better for you. It's better for you to not be drinking. It's better for you to.
It's a good trade-off.
Yeah,
it's not a good.
But in the moment, you're thinking like, man, I got to be with my homies. I got to be with my boys and like have fun and stuff. Like.
And we're gonna come back to the brand. But that piece, I think I had a question there around, you know, coming from where we're from. There's a lot of pulls to different areas, streets, alcoholism. A lot of shit that pulls us, and you know, we all get pulled. I'm pulled and into different directions and had my struggles with that. What was that like for you? You know, to have homies that's involved in different shit or whatever, and you trying to take this path. How did you navigate that pull?
So for me, it was like I've had to experience certain things like since I was a youth to like, I don't know, do certain stuff in the streets, I guess, and when it comes to either you're gonna like, I feel like the question might boil down to like either you're gonna be a leader or a follower. You're gonna follow what the crowd's doing, or you're gonna do what you feel like in your heart is the right thing for you to do. And I feel like that's like the question that we kind of have to answer for ourselves.
Yeah.
And in order for us to make a change, you got to do something different. Like you can't, and you might think like, oh, I'm doing something wrong in the moment, but it's something different. It's not gonna feel comfortable. Like what's comfortable is what you see everyone else doing. You know what I mean?
Just fitting in.
Yeah. So like, and then it's like, okay, well, if everybody drinks alcohol on the weekends, is that the right thing for me to do? Just because everybody doing it? Then it's like, okay, well, if all my friends smoke crack, should I smoke crack?
Smoking crack with
them? And then it's like, it's like that's how you get on crack because your buddies smoke crack.
Yeah,
like
sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
experiencing with somebody
niggas ain't
else.
just say, oh, that's crack. Let me just go grab that crack.
And then the same thing is like, okay, well, if all my boys are getting money, if all my boys are transcending and into entrepreneurship and business and trying their best to achieve, then if I'm the fifth person in the crew, what did you say earlier? But you're the average of the 6 friends you hang with, and that's like, to me, that's pure, because like if say I'm a bum, for like, not a bum, but like say I don't have any money, and then like I do now, I don't have any now. So like if I surround myself with people that got money, like my 4 friends are like successful entrepreneurs or whatnot, fit in the gym, they don't drink alcohol, they don't smoke, they don't do nothing like that. If I hang with them and spend my most time with them, I'm gonna become like that.
100%.
And because it's only easy when you're hanging with 5 people that smoke weed. Yeah. It's like, oh, let me take a puff of that. Right. Oh, hey, you want to try this? Then you try it. It went from trying it to being a smoker.
Yeah, a session.
Yeah. And then it just that cycle becomes, and then you're like, oh, it's okay because everybody does it. You know what I mean?
So you're saying, sense. You talk about being a leader and doing things differently.
Oh, I take pride 100% in being different, but I feel like I can attribute that to coming from up home and being around certain people up home, like you guys' older brother, my older brother, and just seeing how they had different swag. They was cool, like, you know what I mean? Right. They moved different, and then I kind of adopted that to be like, they're leaders in their industry. Can I be a leader in my industry? Right. I want to have my own swag. I want to be my own leader, and that's kind of like the take I took on it, and
yeah. No, and that's big. I mean, you were able to look at other examples. You just take examples of leaders, take examples of people just creating their own shit, being different. And that's the thing, too. Like, a lot of times, even within, a section or an industry, there's still people being different. They're being themselves. I guess the challenge now is, like, how do we move from those paths and then go into different paths, like, you know what I mean? So, that's what's up.
And I feel like these conversations are important because then the younger people that are us when we were younger, they looking at us and what we're doing, and we're able to talk about this freely and give certain advice. We might not have had, like, our OGs not giving us advice like this directly.
They didn't have it. They give.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like
they was giving us advice how to break it down and how to break her down.
It's trailblazing. 100%. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing. Like, if you look back, and we talk about this freely, but if you look at, like, at some point there was somebody that first chose that path. You know what I mean? They were a trailblazer. Like, oh shit, let me try this. Yeah. And they went and they did it and they found some success, and then they came back and gave it to the homies. Yeah. And so here we are in 2021, and we're trailblazing. We're doing shit that hasn't necessarily been done. Like, there's been a lot of people who've owned businesses in our community, entrepreneurs, self-employed people. But I think where you're trying to go with your brand, the conversations I know that we have, where we're trying to go, what we're doing, it's like it's uncharted territory. You know what I mean? 100%. And so I think that's really the piece that makes this different. This is a different movement. Like, we're trying to really break doors down that, like the wall behind this door, we got to break through the wall first. Right?
Straight. 100%. I agree.
So you're in university. You're ready to kind of leave law school. You make a hoodie. It's the early days of the brand. At that time, was a cab story in there? You driving a cab? Tell us the cab story real quick. Man, bro, we doing it all. Fuck.
Keep it real, keep it raw. So
this guy just say fuck.
I just had to let him know, like, we good to go, man. We got explicit on our podcast.
Okay, so cab. So this goes back to what you were just saying about the being a leader, being a trailblazer. So like, I became a cab driver on the strength of my communication skills. I wanted to be able to communicate with people. Plus, it was during my undergrad. I wanted to be able to have a couple dollars in my pocket and pay the bills. So I learned through that. And like driving taxi cab, it was an eye opener because it's doing something so different than like what the community and people are used to. Like when I used to drive cab, I used to pull up, pick people up, and I'm just cool, fresh, right? People get in the car, like young girl, old man, whoever, they look over, and then like in my peripheral, I can see they look over, and then they go.
This a prank?
Yeah, like what am I on? One of them cab shoes?
Where's the camera at?
Yeah, so then like certain stuff like that, and like I take pride in doing different shit and being able to tell like young people like I drove taxi cab, like I'm not, you know what I mean? And the other thing was like people I found in the community, and not in just speaking North Preston, I feel people in the city in general, they didn't respect cab drivers. Like they treat them badly and stuff like that. So like wasn't no one able to do that to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it goes to the building this communication skills and certain stuff like that. Like people try to hop out on you, people try to fight you, people try to do all kinds of stuff when you're driving cab, but it's only 1% of people.
Right.
Like you'll think like, oh, I'll never drive cab because it's dangerous, but like 99% of people are cool. It's that 1% that could end your life or you know what I mean, do whatever. So it's, to me, it was like a uncharted thing that like I would have never got to experience, and I'm glad I did because I worked for that for like a year and a half maybe. Then I learned, end up getting an Audi A8L with the long one, and I turned it into a limo so that I could do airport runs and limo runs and stuff like that. And this is like one of my only regrets when it comes to business in my journey is when I got to law school, I sold the car because I didn't want the burden. But if I would have been willing to take the risk and just hire a driver, kept my cab, like honestly, I know for a fact I'd be debt free. I'd be like have a bunch of cars on the road just because I knew like the finance, I knew where the money would go, and it's a trajectory that goes up. It wouldn't have went flat. It was only going up because you got a person that's renting your roof lights. You got a person that's driving your car. You only built like I would have. The company was Silver Indulgence Limo Service, and it would have been built up over time. You know what I mean? Like
what's one thing? I mean, that might be it. But like, what do you think your biggest lesson was of the cab driving experience?
I feel like it goes to maybe the biggest lesson would be like just treating all people with respect, and that goes to like the respect in the brand is because like when it comes to you're dealing with all different types of people. You're dealing with people at the top of the totem pole and the bottom of the totem pole when you're driving cab because you get the call, you're picking up all the different type of people in the city, but you realize that everybody's the same at the end of the day. It's just everybody got their own different struggles and different things that they're going through. And so for me, like I feel like that was one of the big lessons. And
everybody going somewhere.
And you can meet crazy like people that like you never would have thought you would have met. You know what I mean? And what I would always do when I met people that like are entrepreneurs or business people, when I drive in cab, I would take them to the airport. Like I met like multimillionaires that had big businesses, and I would ask them like, what is their number one key to success?
Straight.
And like just having that question on top of my head, when I get around someone like that, they are able to instill that.
How do you determine who is that and who isn't?
Just when you drive in cab, you ask the people questions, and they say like, "Oh, I own this business," or I got this," or you know what I mean, I own a golf course, or I own this big company, and then
people like telling you when they own shit.
Oh yeah, but like I feel like I'm a prior too. Like I pry too. Like I'm a type of person that like when I'm talking to someone, it's easy for them to open up to me because I'm asking the right question. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be intrusive, but like I'm asking you questions because I want to know and I want to help. You know what I mean?
Genuine, like I genuinely want to know.
Yeah,
like
and then one of the ladies she had a big time business. Her business was called Epicure.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
And she told me like her answer was like, just keep going. Like don't care about like what the people say. Just keep going. And like when you really think about that, when you think about all the other stuff that you do and on a day to day, like there's a lot of people that quit what they're doing. And if you just keep going, like even for me, like what I joke around and I tell people like when I run out of money, like I could buy some sweaters and then not have enough to buy more sweaters just because like the sweaters cost me X amount. I got X amount of overhead, and then it'll be like something will happen where like I got no money, but then something will happen or someone will hit me up or a client will be like, hey, I need this, I need that, and it'll give me just enough to keep going. And like for me, it's just like that's God saying keep going.
Keep going.
You know, and like
there's more chance in the long term. If you just keep going, there's a better chance that you're gonna win. If you're able to just keep 100%.
Going. And if there's no other option for you to do, it's like, so when I look at it like law school and the brand, is like I got two choices. It's like you got a girl that you don't really like, and then you got a girl that you really like and you want to marry. And then it's like, well, I know this girl that I don't really like. She gonna hold me down. She gonna be there. She gonna do everything I need to be done. But then this is like, it's not for sure thing.
Risky.
But you know this is what you really
but
want.
You would be happier there.
Yeah, right.
You gotta take that girl all day, man.
I don't know if you're gonna be happier, but like in the long run, you might be. We'll see.
There's a chance of more happiness.
Yeah. So like that for me, it was like that was my analogy when it comes to law school and like the brand. It's like
I mean, I disagree fully with that statement when it comes to. I believe want the person who wants you. I
agree with that too. But like, does the brand not want me?
No, for sure.
I don't know.
Both of those girls want him.
Yeah, and that's how I look at it. Like they both want me, but this one is not a for sure thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where the potential.
But it has more upside.
Yeah, like
and it makes you feel better.
With being a lawyer, like you know where you could like I feel like I can look at my life and where I could go when I'll be financially free, when I'll be able to pay my debt off. Like the mathematical equation, you just write it down on paper. This is where I'll be. This is when I'll be able to pay off the debt. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the brand,
steady and stagnant.
Yeah, steady life. Like you know what I mean. If you're a teacher, you know how much you're gonna get paid every year. You know what I mean.
Your summers off.
Yeah, and then so with the brand, it's more of a volatile stock. Like you invest in it.
You're taking a risk.
Yeah,
you're taking a risk.
But your energy is up.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
So you're go to school. You make the sweater. Then what? Tell us how Trevor Clothing came about.
So I'm going to call it one of my boys. I ordered the samples, and I was like, when I was getting the samples, I was like, I don't want to have my brand regular. Like, I don't want it to be like low quality or regular quality. I want it to be as high as quality as I can get. And so I'm like around my boys. I got the sample or whatever. Sample comes in, show my boys, and then I'm like, would you buy this? And then some of them are like, yeah, I like that. That's cool. And then one of my boys like, oh, how much you selling it for? And I'm like, $100 probably. And then he's like, oh man, ain't no one buying no $100 sweater. Yeah. And then I'm saying, you mean like in my back of my mind, I didn't say this to them, but like in retrospect, it's like, bro, you're selling $40 hoodies.
Right.
Like that's why you think I can't sell a $100 hoodie. My hoodie to me is worth $200. But the market that we in, I'll sell it for $100.
Right.
And then the quality versus what he was selling in that and versus what I was selling, he didn't see the vision because he's like, he in his mind is like, this is where it could go because this is where I took like the $40 hoodies. But it's also like a different type of flow too. Like when you like my mind is like, okay, I got to make quality like Nike or like Gucci, and I got to figure out how I can do that and then sell it, and I got to build the brand long term. That was like, oh, $40 hoodie. The hoodie lasts you 6 months. My hoodie lasts you 5 years.
I still got like some of my original.
That's what I'm saying. So then to them is like, I don't even think I had this conversation with them, but like, you said I could never sell $100 hoodies. And what Jay-Z say? I sold 100 hoodies about 100 times.
Right. You probably sold 1,000 of those.
100,000.
And then matter of fact, them hoodies about 200. Well, not 200, but 150.
Oh yeah, they're getting up there because like the quality's getting better. I'm getting better at like refining the design. Plus the brand name.
The brand is premium.
Yeah, so
I think too. Like we could spend a little time on that concept because in our community, like not just speaking of North Preston, speaking of our culture. You know what I mean? Like the urban black culture, black Nova Scotia, black Canada, black North America. That mindset is like people have very narrow visions. You know what I mean? And a lot of times too, like when you just starting out with something, you allow the narrow thinkers to dictate the direction that you move, and we got to be very cautious. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I see a lot of different memes. People talk about like don't tell people your shit and tell your, you know what I mean? Like all those things, like keep it a secret. And I constantly like battle with that idea because I want a soundboard. You know what I mean? I want to hear other people's opinions because you need that. But then it's dangerous too because if you ain't secure enough in your vision,
it would be like even similar to like if you go to someone that you really respect their opinion, like. And they tell you, like, don't do that. What you feel like in your heart is to do. Then you're kind of even torn more because you're like, this person knows what they're talking about. Right. But my heart's saying, like, I got to still do what I'm going to do. And that's the stuff where we got to learn on our own stuff. Like, when you're younger and the older person says, don't do that, you got to learn on your own.
In the world of accomplishment, I don't value opinions. I value accomplishments.
Oh, 100%. Like, and that, too, sometimes can be hard, too, because then for us is, like, we value, like, I can't even say that it's just like we'll look to someone that for advice because they seemingly got it all, but then they might not really have it all, and then their advice may really be just trash, Right. And then it could derail us too because then that value and that opinion can mess us up.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's all perspective, you know, and even you might have got there the way you got there,
Yep.
but there's a million ways to do it. And what's the saying you put on your album? A true king values the...
A true king always listens to the advice of counsel, but always follow his own heart.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
real
what I
shit.
mean?
Like,
I seen that in a movie. I was watching this movie one time.
Yeah, I seen it done
right.
too.
Movie's got good value.
a good
They
movie.
basically told him like always follow, always listen to the advice of your counsel. Like if, I listen to them all the time. You know what I mean? I listen to all kind of people.
Bro, I listen to you
Right?
guys all the time.
But like at the end
You
of the
gotta
day,
make the decision for
I'm
you.
gonna make that choice.
Yeah.
I'm the person that and the reason
it
why I
falls on
do
you.
that, exactly, because at the end,
You can't go to
when
me
this
and
shit
say-
goes south,
Mhm.
like I gotta put my hand up.
I can't say, man, you told me to do that. It's
Yeah.
your fault.
Yeah.
I could say
100%.
that,
Yeah.
but it's my life. It's my action. I'm the
Yeah.
one that got to carry this out. So if my heart's not in the decision, then the decision
Yeah, that's
is the
the-
wrong decision.
That would be the
right?
same if you guys say, oh, like, invest all your money in crypto. I invest my money in crypto, my money gone. But if the money goes up, then it's like, hey. And you, and to me, it's like, you got to be able to, and this is a thing that, like, I kind of been dealing with lately is, like, if you don't expose yourself to the potential gain, then you're never going to, like, if you don't invest just like Bitcoin right now is like what, 57,000 USD. If you're like, oh, it's too much right now, then when it's 100,000, you're gonna say it's too much. But if you don't put a little bit in there to expose yourself to the potential gains, then you're never gonna be able to gain.
And that's the thing with brand too. Like you put your brand on it. Like that's the part I like about your business is, that's trust, respect, educate, value. But that's Trev. That's Trevor Silver. You know what I mean? Like I'm all of these things. Like this is me. I am that. Like don't confuse the two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I gotta live by the principles, and there's certain things that I probably came to you guys or you for sure in specific, and I had to make certain decisions to be like, what am I gonna do here? Because I still gotta represent my name.
Straight.
Because if I do something different, then it's gonna mess my name. You know what I mean? And then I'm not falling in alignment with what I'm promoting. And sometimes that's a struggle too.
You become the business.
Yeah, because it's that forgiveness thing too, and you gotta kind of, when you're in business, it's like, man, some of these people ain't got nothing to lose. So it's like, do I throw it all away for that, or do I stay my own course and be like, man, I'm not even worried about that.
Straight. A big part of your brand early on and even today, we're going to go into a little more specifics, is Snapchat, right? So something you talked about, being very active on Snapchat, pretty much selling your products on Snapchat till you had a website. Especially in the early days, what did that look like, and what was your kind of reasoning behind that?
So that was like, so I found I had a lot, because I just interacting with a lot of people. Like even when I drove taxi cab, like if I could get you on Snapchat, I get you on Snapchat. You know what I mean? It's just connecting with the more people. So with Snapchat, that's where I had the most like human connections available. So it was like, and then community too. So when I first started selling the hoodies, it's like, okay, I'm showing like Mandel get a hoodie, post Mandel on there with the hoodie. Then someone else from the community or from somewhere like, oh man, that looks cool. Like, you got any more?
Yep.
Then it's like boom, boom, boom. So it built up from that, and then with branding, it's like the more people they see with it, the more people, you know what I mean? Because like in reality, they were like people in the community, people in the city, like, oh man, you stuff too much. But then it's like, it's too much, but it's quality, and everyone's buying it. So how's it too much?
But I think that was the thing. It was like, I think that the Snapchat posting was the thing that made other people want to buy it, because it's like the concept in your brain, like, yo, that $100 sweater. But when you see like this person bought the sweater, you know that person paid $100 or whatever the price is for.
And everyone knows that.
So now, it ain't even about the sweater. Like the shit's quality, and that was the beauty of it. It was like you could have been selling like bricks, like a literal brick on the wall. But like it's $200. So okay, boom, I get this $200 brick, but I post it, and now it's like, oh man, that person paid $200 for it. It's what it did. The value.
Was an argument, like a kind of semi-argument with my brother one time. He was telling me how someone that he worked, he was just debating or talking to the guy. The guy said, man, if Trevor sold his stuff for cheaper, he'll be able to sell more. And then like me and my brother had like this debate, like, man, like, so I basically end up saying to him, like, Walmart has clothes for cheap.
Exactly.
Is anyone buying the stuff from Walmart?
Oh, people buying it,
but they're not buying it like they go to Foot Locker.
They ain't posting the picture of it.
Yeah, they're not buying it like it's not getting bought like that. Like
there's different pricing strategies, right? So you got best value, that's Walmart. And then when I go to Walmart, I'm going to get the cheapest good.
Yeah.
Best price, but Walmart's best price.
Best price. Sorry, best price.
You put that shit in the washing machine. Sorry, Walmart. You put that shit in the dryer. It's done.
Value, I'm saying price. So you got the best price. Then you got I'll pull up the actual term, but then you got the premium price. Right? I'm paying for Gucci. I'm paying for this brand. I know I'm buying premium quality. And then you got the best value. So best price, best premium price, and then best value.
It's best price, best product, best value.
Best value. Exactly. So then when we go best value, then that's when we're talking Amazon. All right, they got the best. It's delivered to me. It's this price. It's reasonable, but that's not the strategy. Your strategy is the best product. So the price, you can't set a floor, right? And matter of fact, you don't even want the floor. You don't even want them people, the homie at his homie's work, to buy it because he don't value it. Right?
100%. And then the value over time, it becomes like it's building a brand. So like for me, it's like, okay, we're 5 years in, and I knew that it's gonna take time. I know that it's gonna take, like, if it's like the first 5 years can be better, or like the next 5 years can be better than the first 5 years, okay. I don't care how long it takes. I just want to build a brand that's going to be here for when I'm gone.
You want to build value, right? You know what I mean?
And the value, and that's another thing with, like, shout out to East Coast Lifestyle. And I always tell, like I was just telling the kids at Auburn, is like, I do want to do a collab with East Coast Lifestyle, but I don't want to do it right now. And that's because you have your brand built up here. My brand's right here. I want to be able to give you
same value,
equal value when it comes to
we coming together.
promo.
You're not helping me, or we just we collabing.
And that's what a lot of people may do. They'll hit me up and be like, "Hey, can we do a collab?" And they don't either one, they don't have a brand yet, or two, they're just starting their brand, and it's like I have to explain this to them, and this is something that I've learned to be able to explain because you don't want to reject them because you don't want them to feel no kind of way, but you got to educate them and let them understand that okay, well, the value here is like basically you're saying like come put me on.
So you're building it backwards. So we talked about the value. Now you're educating the people.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? What would you say about the respect? Like where does the R come from?
So I can remember something that your brother told me that he got from your father, and he say respect will take you around the world and back.
That's
what did we say a couple weeks ago on the pod?
Yeah. And like
Pops.
those
Manners
little
and
things
respects.
that you
Manners
could
and
remember
respect.
and that could be so simple that it's like, to me, like respect goes so long of a way because just thinking about like Young being in the streets, there's certain people that you wouldn't really respect. And then it's like, for one, it could be like, I don't know, like a drug addict. Like I find like when I was younger, I used to hold them with like low value or low respect. And then when it comes to like people in the street snitching or whatever, it's like you supposed to be a street nigga, but then you telling.
Yeah,
so it's
snitch.
like, you know what I mean? But then for me,
hard to get them niggas respect.
for me to be like, but then it's like, okay,
I feel what you're saying.
But then there's like a snitch. If you say, okay, well, I'm not shaking that snitch hand, or I'm not saying what's up to that snitch, or oh, I got a problem with that snitch now. This snitch is out there killing people.
Yeah.
And then you're basically risking your life over, like, I'm not saying like respect them. I'm just saying like show them some kind of respect so that they don't got to try to do nothing to you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, like you willing to die, like the guy that killed Nipsey Hussle, like, and that's like, and that's just not Nipsey Hussle. That shit happens in our own community. Like there's people in our city that probably telling and probably will kill you. And then it's like, okay, well, am I willing to die for not giving not giving them respect? But you get
I'm
what
not
I'm saying.
disrespecting.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think
That's the point that I'm trying to make is
you know
not disrespecting. Certain people.
I may not respect you, but I'm not gonna disrespect you.
And that that's the same thing. So when it comes to like maybe like a drug addict or whatever, you might not respect their decisions, but when you look at it from like a educated point of view and you understand like those are addictions, like it's not their fault why they're addicted.
You know, it's crazy because I watched the Dave Chappelle special, and one of the biggest things that stood out to me was when he said, you know, the person said, "I'm having a human experience." You know what I mean? That shit hit home.
Too. That hit me.
You know what I mean? Like that shit home because I've never thought about nothing like that. Like, you know, I don't care what you're going through. I go through shit.
Yep.
I'm having a human experience. You know what I mean? And you know, speaking to the, you know, the drug addict position, you know, when I used to be out there hustling and shit, one of the things that I always, you know, because my dad instilled those values in me to respect people always, no matter what their situation was. I used to treat people with respect. You know what I mean? I didn't treat them differently or lower or nothing like that. I just used to treat them with respect. And I think that was how I was able to, you know, earn their trust. You know what I mean? Because I treated them with respect. And I think that was what really made the difference. And you know, I used to tell people this shit all the time. Like, you know, because a couple of my buddies would ask, like, well, why do you do that? Like, why do you, right? And I said, real shit, here's the thing. I don't trust none of these people, right? I don't trust nobody. I don't trust nobody in this dirty game. But I treat them all with respect because when they're ready to tell on someone, when they're ready to snake somebody, when they're ready to set somebody up, when they look at the list of people to do that to, I'm at the end of that list.
100%.
Right?
I agree.
You know what I mean? And matter of fact, they're going to even feel a little bit fucked up for trying to do some shit like that to me, because this person always treated me with respect. He always showed me love, and he made me feel valuable. So I think, and that's why, when I look at your brand, I remember like when you first came with the Balanced Success sweaters, it was cool. I love the idea. I love the concept. But when you really started like the trust era, the respect, when you started really digging into the brand, I think that was what I felt connected to the brand, because everything that I want to represent in life is in your brand. You know what I mean? And so when I wear it, I don't give a shit how much it costs. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at it like this is what I'm representing. So, I think that those principles in life, man, they really they matter.
Yeah, respect will take you around the world and back again.
And I feel like that's when it comes to like certain individuals, when they wear the brand, they might not be like my desirable customer, but I feel like the brand adds value to their life, because when they see the principles, when they witness it, and they're like they embody the principles, because it's like you're being fake if you wear Trevor and then you're not, you know what I mean, you're not a trustworthy person, you're disrespectful, you know what I mean, you're not educated, or you don't value yourself or others. So it's like that in itself, I feel like anybody that wears Trevor is gonna like this is my idea. I don't know if it's true, but like that's what my intent is. I want Trevor to lift up people. Not just that it's like maybe more expensive than another brand, but I want it to be a premium brand. But I also want to make the world a better place.
Like if you put on the Trevor, if you were about to go snake a nigga, don't wear the Trevor sweater.
Yeah, it's gonna make you think twice. Hopefully, you think twice.
Like don't put on the Trev sweater when you about to go be disrespectful.
Thank you. That's a good one. I like that.
Take the hat off. Take the hat off.
Clip that one. Throw it up on the gram.
Yeah.
And we touched on it a bit. Influencers have been huge for you, and I think you've used it a lot. Shit, early days you was sending me sweaters out in the States, and I was wearing them. Niggas like, man, where you get? And this is in Baltimore, Maryland. Shit, man. Pull that clip up. And you sent me the sweater, and I'm like, boom, got nothing but love, and the sweater was sick. I'm like, Cardi, she came down to visit me to watch a game. I'm like, yo, let's take some pictures with the sweater on. You send me shit. I'm sure you got other people that you plug in, and you let them wear, and your influencers have been huge. And like you said, 100%. You put Mandel up on Snap. 10 other people want the sweater. Because they seen him or whoever. Kind of talk about that part and how that has helped grow your brand.
So back to like relationship building, driving cab, just being able to meet people, have genuine connections.
Sorry, you got the guy on Instagram that be having all the girls on the boat. And he be making me want to. You seen him? Whatever his name is.
Sharon.
He's dope. He be making me want to buy the shirt with all the shorties on the boat.
Really supports. So even how he got it. So local people that I know.
Pressa had it on.
Pressa fuck with the brand.
Pressa had Coi Leray had it on. We got to talk about that, but go ahead.
So I'll just talk about how even Sharon got the gear is like past day. This is when he worked with Seti, and Seti is where I always used to go. Me and him had a relationship before that, but through being in the barbershop all the time, we built more of a relationship. So when I did start getting the hoodies, it's like, hey, he's like, man, I'll support it. He's down with it. So then he'll make posts about it, and then it's just like tapping into people that, like, for me, the way I want to do it is like genuine connections. So like, the more genuine the connection, the better it is, because I'm not giving you the sweater and being like, hey, go do this. I'm giving it to you because I know you, me and you cool. If you do something, then you do something. If you don't, it's okay. But the value is, if you're an influencer, that I give you value, you give me value. If you don't feel like I give you enough value, that's okay. But I still know that you fuck with me, I still fuck with you, even if you don't. So that would be like people like Pat, people like you, people like and Pressa. So cousin Shaney boy, brought Pressa down here, did the show, and so I'm pulling up to the show. I'm pulling up to set up to sell, because this is when I'm early stages. Like, I'm broke. I'm trying to have a pop up, right? So then Pressa pulls up. He's like, hey, you with Shaney boy people? I was like, yeah, that's my people. So then he's like, oh, can you give me a lift down to the hotel? So I was like, yeah. And just so happened I got something for you. And then I explained him the brand and whatnot on the way there. So I'm not expecting nothing. I'm just hooking you up. You know what I mean? And I feel like having zero expectations makes it work so much better for you. So zero expectations.
Sorry to cut you off. That's probably one of your biggest 100%. Values is you do shit with zero expectation of a return.
Yeah, 100%.
Like directly.
And feel no kind of
way.
way.
You get a better return. Like if you
Yeah.
would have hit me up, man, hey man, I sent you the sweater. Can you get me some pictures and shit?
Yeah.
Like
to me, that's not like it's more.
But you sent it to me, and it's dope.
Because I
want to go my way to do that.
Yeah, and I don't want to put the expectation on you because then you feel like you got to do something. Like I don't like when people got me expecting to do stuff for them. You know what I mean? Like if I couldn't make it here today, I don't want to be like you guys gonna feel like I'm gonna feel bad. You guys gonna feel bad. It's like couldn't make it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when it's me putting the expectation on someone to be like, hey, you got to do this for me because I did this for you. It's like, hey, I don't care about that. So when he came back to the concert, he had on the gear.
On.
And it's like, to me, it was like, oh, like I had one of them feelings like he the first big celebrity wearing the clothes. And I was just like I felt like.
That was that moment.
It was like
it felt that,
I'm on the right path.
Yeah, I'm on the right path. Like God saying, keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the thing that I'm going to always live by is like, if God give me a sign to keep going. So with that would be like the same with the Coi Leray thing. So got a relationship with Pressa. I'm like, man, she goes with Pressa. Pressa fucks with the brand. Pressa fucks with Down Home. So let me send her some gear.
Straight.
Hopefully, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know her.
Yeah.
I know him. So she ended up wearing it like at the BET Awards. Not at the BET Awards, but like at the BET Awards.
Like on the BET.
Yeah, so then I'm like, damn, like, I don't quote me. I don't know for sure, but I feel like she fuck with the brand because he fuck with the brand.
Straight.
She
like,
put it on.
Energy,
she had
energy.
the whole shirt on, the whole sweater.
And she was looking good, bro.
Yeah,
like
she was
got
shy.
the love hoodie on. Like that's real love.
I think it's energy. You know what I mean? Like, and you put a lot of good energy in the world. You know what I mean? I think those are those zero expectation things. They're just coming back to you because you just put it out there. You just do so much for so many people. I think that like the universe has a way of balancing it itself.
And the other thing was like people will think like, oh, because she wore the gear or because these people wear the gear that like your brand makes it off of that. And I feel like that's the thing that people got mixed up where they think that they build a company, they just put it on the celebrities and then they think the brand's like, you have to build the brand, you have to do the business behind the brand. And for me, like, I'm doing every single thing. And I'm not doing everything the best that I could. Like, if I had a team or I had more money or I had this, I could do it better. But to me, I'm just working with what I got, building it as I go. And there's a lot of advice that I get from you. I get from you that adds so much value to my brand. Because, like, I was never doing advertisement until you were saying, Trevor, man, you got to do the advertisement. Trevor, you got to do it. Yeah. And then the pandemic happened. And then, like, certain other stuff happened that, like, it was like the God said keep going stuff. So, like, I had all my clothes. This is just a experience that you got to kind of. This is for resilience for people that need to hear it. So like, early 2020, all my clothes got burned out, and so I didn't share this with the public either. So so my dad was like, make sure you got insurance. I'm going to Dow. The clothes are by Spring Garden Road, like on Spring Garden. So I'm thinking like nothing's ever gonna happen to my stuff. So he's like, make sure you got insurance. Make sure you got insurance. I'm thinking, man, like. Insurance like 150, 180. I'm like, man, I don't got this right now. And I'm in school and I'm grinding with the brand. So I was like, I'll just omit having the insurance. And then so the place caught fire.
Yeah.
All the stuff got burnt out. Like this is like, I was fucked up for like a day or two. And I was just like, man, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? But then I realized like the clothes got burned up, but the brand didn't get burnt out. So like all I did was like to my brother, like, hey, can you loan me $5,000? Boom.
That's a good
hit
brother.
My supplier up, built, but I got credit with him because I done already borrowed $10,000 and give him back to him. So it's like building credit with your family is important too.
100%.
And the banks ain't giving you nothing. They only give you stuff when you don't need it. When you need it, they ain't got it for you. So with that, it was like, okay, boom, the brand didn't get burned out. So I just kept, like, from there, I had to rebuild everything back. And then it was like coronavirus.
You didn't have to rebuild it back.
Oh, I had to rebuild
the customer never ever knew. You had to rebuild your stock back up.
And that's something that the customer never ever knew. Probably
right?
like including you guys and now the world, but like before that, it was probably like only 5 people that knew that.
And then, so I cut you off. You were about to say, and then Corona happened.
Yeah, then Corona happened. So the fucked
double
up,
whammy.
The good thing about Corona for me is that I went to China in 2019.
Yep.
Through initiative at SMU. Shout out to SMU. SMU give all the opportunities to the students.
He was in the airport and all that.
Good thing I'm still a student.
Yeah.
So I went to China, and while I'm in China, this is 2019, this is pre-pandemic, this is before you even thought about a pandemic. Everyone in China was wearing masks, bro. I'm going to all these places and everyone had masks on. So I'm like, the monogram would look cool on that mask.
Right.
And so would the logo. So I was like, while I'm in China, I'm designing the mask. The mask was already designed before I even came back.
Right.
Got the sample already coming. Like, I'm in China.
Hold on. When the COVID hit, it's like, this nigga had mask the next week.
Yeah. I remember that. I'm like, how?
So I dropped the
I'm
mask.
like, this man is he in the Illuminati?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, before, because I remember I messaged you. I seen a guy downtown with the mask, but masks were like fashion as well.
Yeah.
He had the fashion mask on. And then, like, next week,
boom,
COVID hit the world.
Because we
like,
did,
shit.
In September 2019, we did the fashion show at Halifax Shopping Center.
Yeah.
And that's when we released the mask.
Right.
The people had the mask on. So it was like September. Bro, I'm walking around, and this is messed up because I'm down Spring Garden with a mask on. I'm black. It's cool, though, so a little bit in September, October. And the people were looking at me so funny, bro. Like, oh, what this black guy finna do? And, like, for me, it's like, this
crazy
fashion in China, everyone wearing that.
You had the game.
Fast forward to February when the pandemic, soon as one virus or one case were here,
happened?
all the masks were sold out. Like people were saying, like before, like the virus were in New Brunswick and stuff, they were like, I only had like, cause all the stuff burnt up, I only had probably like 20 something masks that I had at the house, and people were like, "Oh, can I get a bulk deal?" Yeah. And I'm like, "Bulk deal on what?" No, something that everyone gonna need.
Yeah, no, I can't give you the bulk deal. The supply and
demand and I needed the money to be able to recover.
Right.
So it was like that kind of like, God keep going. God said keep going.
Straight. That's a big segment. Always, God keep going. I like that. God keep going. You talked about the mask, but I locally, but I think globally, but I think. Locally, I think that you're a marketing genius.
Thank you.
Know what I mean? Like not to say that you're not globally a marketing genius, but like when I look at the way you do shit locally, I think you're a genius. Like you understand this market probably, better than a lot of other people. One of the genius things that I think that you do is the car air fresheners.
Oh yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like that's probably one. Like I see that. Like I could be in traffic. You walk in a parking lot, you see it. Like it just top of mind. You just see it, and it's like, wow. Like where? How did you come about that? What led you to?
And
do that?
I see it everywhere. Like man, it'd be random cars.
Yeah, like it ain't just
the hood.
It ain't just culturally relevant.
Bedford,
people.
Sackville.
It ain't urban people.
Yeah, it's everybody because the brand is urban e-brand, but it's not strictly urban. It's open. You know what I mean? Like that's why we got the Halifax shirt. Show the people the Halifax shirt is one of my best sellers, and it's just home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with the air freshener thing, I seen other people having like branded air fresheners like for their companies and stuff. So then I figured like you see the little trees, like the TREV logo, just the way that it's set up
fits well.
It fits perfectly with air freshener. So when it comes to being an air freshener, it's more of like a decoration. And then so when it came for me to do that, I was in Toronto and my boys got cars up there, Gold Dog them. Yeah. So I got the air fresheners sent to me up there before I came back home, and I hooked up to, like people with nice cars, and went to like a car wash place, hooked them up with the couple, and then I came down and then I refined it. Like I got better at it, found better suppliers and stuff like that. But the air fresheners are like basically like advertisement, but it's cheaper than Facebook.
For sure.
And like it's not for everybody either, because like people be like they want to get in the air freshener game. But it's a dirty game.
Yeah, and I think it's crazy because I remember you used to like give them out by the packs.
Yeah,
I used to be like
give them out these.
He making them you know what I mean? Like
make them in the basement.
Yeah, like you give them out by the packs. Like you be just giving them away. Like everywhere you're at, they're in the bag. Every time you purchase something, the stickers. Like I always found, you spend, and I like that you touched like it was just cheaper than Facebook. You spend a lot of money. In direct marketing, right? And it pays off.
Oh, 100%. Right? But that's like when you're in the beginning stages, I always knew that it was going to take me time. I'm not going to blow up overnight. I'm not going to wake up the next day, my site going to go crazy unless I die like Nipsey. And then they want the TMC.
I don't want you to die.
No, but I'm just saying like, so I'm saying like that, I knew that was going to take time. So when it comes to me putting in that extra money, putting up that extra money, people not willing to do that. No. Now, I'm not trying to say like I'm competing with someone else that's not doing that, but you should be having stickers for your brand. You should be able to like me. I want to give more value than if you give me $120, if I pay $80 for the hoodie, or or whatever, I want to be able to give you basically what you're paying.
You always you say that all the time.
I want to overgive because at the end of the day, if I overgive, I know that you feeling like you got something valuable. You know what I mean?
You rip me off. We talk about it all the time, the value triangle. So
like I try to overgive, like I try to give the value. You know what I mean? Especially like if it's my friends or family, like it's hard to give deals.
But even for customers, like one thing we talk about with R&B Kitchen and all of our businesses, it's just a value triangle. And Cavell can draw it out for us. But on this end, we got price, and on this end, we got value. So we want to extend this value piece. Where
we want to extend the value to the customer, feel more value.
Exactly.
And we widen in the triangle we doing it for a cheaper price.
100%.
You know what I mean? So that's like, if you widen the triangle, if you can move the value to the customer and move the cost that is costing you down, like that's just where you get the most value from 100%. The business.
And randomest stuff comes, like, gives your brand value. Like
random stuff.
With the Coi Leray stuff, like her wearing the brand gives my brand value.
100%.
And like you think like, oh, like you my homie, you should fuck with me just because you fuck with me. But then it's like, you see Coi Leray with the gear and it's like, now I gotta buy it. Now you want to buy it, but it's the perception of like what the brand is, you know what I mean? And then it's like, if ain't no one fucking with it, ain't no one fucking with it. But if everybody's fucking with it, then it's like, how you gonna not fuck with it? Like everybody fucking with Gucci, everyone fucking with Nike. Like who listening to this podcast don't got a pair of Nikes at home?
They all got them.
You know what I mean? And it's like, for me, it's like, I want you to have a Trev sweater in your closet or a Trev hat on your head. And I read the book Shoe Dog.
Okay.
And he was in the book talking about like when he was walking down the street, like he was saying to himself, like, why these people ain't got Nike on their feet? And to me, it's like, when I'm in the city, why you ain't got Trevor on your body? You know what I mean? And to me, it's like, that gives you like more motivation to try to figure out how to tap into, like, cause my brand's not going to be for everybody, but I want to be able to tap into the people that it is for. You know what I mean? Like,
and maximize it.
Yeah, maximize it. Cause like for me, like if you're swaggy, you should have Trev. You know what I mean? If you're cool, if you you know what I mean, you support local, like all these certain values that
your swag ain't straight if you ain't got Trev.
Yeah, like how you from down home and you ain't got Trev? Like you could be in Toronto and people gonna be like, you ain't from down home, you ain't got no Trev. You know what I mean? And people from Toronto is on no Trev wave, so it's like, and we're not even in Toronto yet. So
we coming.
Keep going. What's next? What's next for Trev? What's the plans? What does the future look like for Trev?
So for me, I would say, like the other day, a kid asked me like, what was my ultimate goal? And this is a conversation that me and Cavell had before about like having like 100-year plan. And like to me, like that's important to me now.
On the show,
everything you touching on, we got an episode on it.
That's crazy.
You been listening?
I haven't even got a chance to listen yet, but this is a conversation that me and you had. So like with the 100-year plan, is like, I want the brand to be here when I'm gone. So I got to try to figure out what things do I have to do, or like what proteges or what protocols do I have to put in place in order for it to be here when I'm gone. And not to say, like, that's to say, like, okay, well, I'm 30 now. When I'm 35, where would the brand be? When I'm 40, where would the brand be? And it's like anyone that's listening to this is like, have like a roadmap to where you want to go. There's gonna be bumps in the road, but there's also gonna be dips and big ups where you went and you got to, like, I could be where I thought I would be when I'm 50, when I'm like 35. In like 2 years, it could just happen. But you're grinding with a roadmap so that you drive. Like for me to get from here to LA to drive, I know how to get there. But there's gonna be like cut off roads, certain stuff that's gonna happen. But if I'm just freestyling, like if I'm freestyling my business, like how far can my business really go? Like, you know, you can't freestyle. Like,
circles.
I'm gonna freestyle my way to LA.
Good luck.
Like you ain't even allowed to stop and ask no one to go nowhere.
That's never find your way.
You know what I mean? So the people are one that's gonna help you formulate your plan. So like when I come to you guys and I tell you about this is what I'm gonna do next or this is what I'm gonna do, that helps refine my map. That helps refine my road plan. And then I talk to Alex McLean. He could give me certain advice that'd be like, hey yo, don't do that, or yeah, do that, or this might not work how you want it to work. Try this. And then those are certain things that help your plan. So for me, it's like my roadmap. If you ask me like what do I want, where do I want it to go, is like build it in Nova Scotia to where it's sustainable. So then once it's sustainable in Nova Scotia, I'm gonna have a store inside exclusively down home. Gonna always be inside East Coast Kicks. We're gonna grow together, build together from day one. So there's never gonna be a Trev store down home outside or inside of there. And then you come to my house, whatever. And so then Toronto, I want to have my first like flagship store, like downtown Toronto somewhere, like just a little hole in the wall. And then from there, once I make so it's sustainable here, So then when I do get to Toronto, I'm not in a desperate state. I'm in a place where I know I can build. I know I can do what I did down home. So build it up from there. And then from there, plus as I get better, I refine my abilities to design, my certain stuff like that. And then what I do want to do, and someone out there may be listening, a young person, older person, I want to find, once I'm financially in a place to pay somebody, I want to have a assistant, like assistant designer that's like actually went to school for it, like that did all the stuff that I didn't do, like educated for fashion and making patterns and doing all that stuff. So that's one of the things that I want to do by the time.
You're looking for a who. You're not looking for a how.
Yeah.
That's the way. Grab that book, Who Not How.
Okay. Toronto, and then once I'm in Toronto, I want to do New York, and then LA, and then Vancouver. So that'll be like the trifecta will be Nova Scotia, Toronto, and New York, and then the rest will be like North America, and then the globe, like Dubai and Japan.
Sick. No,
so you're trying to go global.
I'm just trying to speak it into existence, you know.
That's it. That's what we hear. You can't see it if you don't. If you can't beat it if you don't see it.
Yeah, you gotta see it on paper, man.
Exactly.
And I ain't got all the answers, so anyone that can help me with some answers, just shoot us.
Just holler, tap
whatever,
in.
You know,
Check them out. Trev Clothing, @Trev on Instagram. You mentioned books. We're gonna wrap it up with some rapid fire questions. Your top 5 books.
Okay, so boom. I would say number 1, Think and Grow Rich. Number 2, Start with Why. Number 3, what was that?
Culture Code.
Culture Code. And then 10X, Grant Cardone. And then for like any young man that's like, they're trying to find themselves, The Way of the Superior Man.
Yep.
It's good to tap into that stuff because there's ideas and stuff that some may be completely wrong or not politically correct, but like it's good to just tap in and learn that stuff because as young men, like, man, we 13, we misguided, we don't got someone giving us advice. That book gives good advice on like just everything in life. Yeah, being a man
and masculine energy, and there's a lot of other things as well.
Yeah, and it's not like one-sided to where like, you gotta be a man, because like there's men out there that got feminine energy, and it introduces you to these ideas of like, 100%. Shoot, like I never even thought about it like that.
Yep.
And if you're young and you tap in, it's even better because like I never started reading until I was done like high school. So
another book I think you really enjoy is Contagious.
Oh, I read that.
Yeah. I think we might have already chatted about that. But yeah, Contagious is real deal.